Now that we have a general understanding on what a bone is in different shapes and sizes, let's go more in depth and move on to the internal structure of bones. Bones have a smooth-looking external layer of compacted choroidal or hard bone. However, if you were to look under a microscope, you would see the layered plates which create small little tunnels. Inside the bone, you will find something called spongy bone. Spongy bone looks like little pores. They play a big role in making blood cells. There is this cross hatching in the spongy bone which is called trabecula. These cross hatches help the bone resist stress. Spongy bone is where you find the bone marrow. There are two different types of bone marrow. There is red bone marrow and yellow bone marrow. Red bone marrow is where the red blood cells are produced, and the yellow bone marrow is where energy is stored as fat. Each bone has a slightly different arrangement of bone tissue. For example, flat, short, and irregular bones have the spongy bone surrounding the inside of the compact bone. But for long bones, the spongy bone is concentrated at the epiphysis, which is located at the tips of the bone. The diaphysis, the middle of the bone, is filled with yellow marrow instead of spongy bone. Enough about bones. Now let's get into taxonomy. Taxonomy is a science classification of living things. To sum things up, taxonomy is the story of life. It was created to help humans understand how we are connected to every living thing. It would be too complicated to comprehend all this information without a structure. In 1707, a Swede by Carl Linnaeus started to make his own taxonomic system. He dedicated his study to nomenclature, which is a study based on morphology. Back then, people would categorize organisms by analogous or homoplasy traits. This means they would categorize by similar appearance that was originated from different origins. However, Linnaeus categorized by using homologous traits, which we still use to this day. This means he categorized from bones that come from common evolutionary ancestors. We are still categorizing groups into taxa like Linnaeus did. Taxa means to group organisms. The taxonomic system we use is called the phylogenetic tree. This tree shows evolutionary relationships between every living species. This tree includes kingdom, class, order, family, genesis, and species. Recently, domain has been added.